Almost like 35 to 37% of the loans are disbursed. Overall market share, if you see, around 13.5 lakh crore was disbursed in last year 17 and 18, and out of that around 4.5 lakh crore was disbursed by NBFCs and housing companies. So they are playing an important role, and as SOCM it was very important for us, to take the voice at the right level. And I am very pleased to inform you that government is very positive about the whole situation, and we should see some positive outcome in the coming days.
Sir, प्रधानमंत्री की तरफ से किस तरह के आश्वासन मिले हैं और कौन-कौन लोग थे उस बैठक में?
नहीं, प्रधानमंत्री जी ने हमारी सब लोगों की बात सुनी, हाउसिंग फाइनेंस कंपनी से दीवान हाउसिंग, इंडिया बुल, बिरलाज, श्रेय, एवरीबडी, ऑल द टॉप 75% जो रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं हाउसिंग और NBFC को उस मीटिंग में थे, और प्रधानमंत्री जी ने सबकी एक एक करके बात सुनी, सबका मुद्दा समझा कि क्या मुद्दा है, और उन्होंने पूरा आश्वासन दिया कि जो भी कुछ कर सकेंगे गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से वो करेंगे.
Were there any assurances of giving liquidity support to NBFCs, like RBI opening a liquidity window?
See, at his level he has heard about it, and he has assured us that necessary actions, whatever is to be taken, will be taken, and government is fully averse of the situation. And further, with today's meeting, I can confidently say that we would see some positive outcome from the government of India.
So can you tell us top 3 suggestions that came from your end, from all those assembled? What were the 3 main suggestions?
Apart from the industry and the Prime Minister, Mr. Rajiv Kumar, the banking secretary was also there.
Okay.
So
Mr. A.K. Sharma was there.
Mr. A.K. Sharma was there. So we have highlighted the key areas. See, one is in the short to medium term, and second is in the medium to long term.
Okay.
How the NBFC and HFC sector, which has played a very important role in the development of the economy, how do we revive that and not allow it? We may have one failure, one challenge which happened, but because of that the entire sector, if it is impacted, then the economic growth will have an impact, and that is what we highlighted. So we said that in the short to medium term, if a certain liquidity window can be created, whereby whichever body is providing that, they can acquire the assets of the NBFC and HFCs, maybe at even a higher rate, just to show that there is a liquidity support available. That will help building up confidence in the marketplace. You see, today the problem is not of liquidity much. Problem is more of the risk aversion. People don't want to, because of one failure, people don't want to lend to NBFCs and HFCs. So what is happening is that whatever repayments are coming, it is going to repay the existing loans. So therefore the growth has virtually come to a halt in the last few months in this sector. So therefore, in order to open up that, you need to bring a confidence. You see, if you look back, and that's what we highlighted to the Prime Minister also, that in 2008, when in the US the crisis happened, what happened? They allowed one failure, Lehman Brothers. After that, the government supported the banking system. They put in $1 trillion, almost $1 trillion in the financial system to protect it. And there were some non-banks that time. They made them convert into banks in the US, and they controlled the environment, and the economy started to move again. So therefore, we showed examples that how, if there is a proactive working from the government in the last few months, yes, they have done in terms of support, so the contagion effect has not happened, but there has been no growth now. So therefore, our recommendation has been, one, to allow the liquidity support. Second, we have also suggested that to allow public deposit access by NBFCs and HFCs, which is restricted by RBI. So you allow them to access public deposit. That will help to reduce the risk and not dependence upon the banking system for funding.
So this is only for systemically important?
Yeah, so we have said that for systemically important, you allow
even the
deposit.
Life insurance, pension fund, where they are taking exposure on GSEC and everything else, that can be reduced, and some exposure, some exposure can be taken for the NBFC.
So insurance companies today hardly have any exposure to the NBFC and the HFC sector. If insurance and pension funds are opened up more, that resources can come in for the growth, because growth has started to happen. One thing very good in the last few years is that if you see the businesses of the NBFC HFC, the growth in the last at least 2 years was very strong. So, but the growth has to be supported by the raw material, which is money, and that is what we are.
So most important thing, NBFC and let's say are playing an important role in today's, particularly for small scale and medium scale industry. They have been, today what is happening? So the whole scenario is they are all AAA, banks are giving money to them and they are lending money. So the risk is taken by them. And if that stops, I think the economy is going to have another kind of a consequence. The growth will slow down.
Who should provide the liquidity window? Is it the government agency like Mudra, or
that,
you want the RBI to provide?
No, you see, that is, the government has to see which institution. Like you go back in 2008, India did that. India created a 10,000 crores of liquidity support. Ministry of Finance had created it. I think it was under IDBI or somebody, I don't exactly remember, but that time they had created for NBFCs and mutual funds. Very few people took resort to it, but it was more of a confidence that yes, there is money, there will not be a crisis.
So it's more like of a trust building, it is whether RBI come, whether pension fund tomorrow start,
why
supporting.
I'm asking is NBFC as a sector is regulated by RBI, right?
Right.
So you want the RBI as the regulator to provide that window, like how it did in 2008-9.
That time RBI did not directly provide. So therefore we have left the choice, that is the government to take a decision. We are saying we need this support. The sector needs this kind of a liquidity support, which whether it is done through RBI or whether any other body, that is the government. Secondly, we have said that India is still unbanked. It needs with the growth, it needs a lot more banking system. So also allow banks, allow non-banks, which have become large, and to convert into banks, which was there in the past also. It had happened in the late 90s. They gave 1 or 2 licenses, but they should more open up. They should not be hesitant to allow, and they are regulated. We are already regulated in NBFC sector. So that has been also our request to consider that, allow more banks, allow conversion into banks, and allow public deposit in the medium to long term, which will help in building up the capacity in the country. Because for the growth which we are expecting going forward, you need the build-up of the capacity, and in the short run to provide this liquidity support.
So as a SOCHM, for us also is very important that we are representing almost like 400,000 members, small scale, medium scale, large scale, and we are also feeling that kind of a situation coming back, because of the liquidity crisis, how the small and medium scale industries are suffering today. And it's very important that NBFCs and housing finance companies to be given that kind of a support. It's more of a trust building. I think the business is right now is not that something is going to happen tomorrow. That's government has taken many proactive actions from that angle. The question is 1 or 2 more from the angle of how that they can start thinking that liquidity is available, and that government has to decide. And I think with today's meeting we are very confident at the highest level government should come out with some kind of measures which should be in next few days we should see. That's our